Risk of loss is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. How's it going? I got everything ready today. So we're just going to grab this link really quick here. Share. Come into the bonds channel. And the Twitch channel. And once again, we have news events, throw-in futures all over the place, although still range-bound trading. And what are we talking about? Well, at about 5:30 Eastern time this morning, I think it was 5:30 Eastern time, Donald Trump, well, you know what, let's pull up the tweet deck. Let's pull it up, and I'll show you what did Donald Trump tweet this time. Oh boy. Where is he? Russia vows to shoot down any and all missiles fired at Syria. Get ready, Russia, because they will be coming nice and new and smart. You shouldn't be partners with a gas-killing animal who kills his people and enjoys it. Our relationship with Russia is worse now than it has ever been. That includes the Cold War. There is no reason for this. Russia needs us to help with their economy, something that would be very easy to do, and we need all nations to work together. Stop the arms race. So he is threatening Russia, essentially, and saying that missiles are coming. Although, to my knowledge, no missiles have hit yet. I highly doubt that he would say something like that without doing something. Let's just check really quick here. Has something happened? Have they actually hit? No. I don't see anything yet. So that's what's going on. We have the consumer price index at 630. That could move us, but with this Syria news, I don't know. And I think that we definitely, having learned our lesson yesterday, given the circumstances, we will need to stick to range-bound trading, which means that if we do get a winner, we've got to get out at the first sign of absorption, because this could easily go 3 to 4 ticks just like that, you know? Good morning, Mike. And real quick, let's just check the cryptocurrency market. It's still dead as a doornail and just kind of sitting here at 68.51. I'm actually up. I've been doing quite well, actually. I'm telling you guys, this indicator, if you're not subscribed to the Patreon, I would recommend it, because I really I mean, I always believed that the indicator worked, but now it's like turning into a golden goose. I mean, it's starting to get crazy how well this has worked. We're technically down, and I'm up a good $50 or so because of my choices. And I'm not even like made like super huge bets, but you know, between the garlic coin, did well, so. Let's keep in mind that one. That one kind of makes a difference. And that one could come down a lot. But you know, with the Verge has been helping. Made a good. I only put $10 into Verge. It's almost worth $30. So I've almost made 3 times my money in Verge. Nem continues to do well. Charts show that both of these could potentially keep going. Nano. You know, Nano hasn't really gone anywhere. I think Nano might actually be in a spot to buy, but my indicator doesn't show Nano, so I don't really know. Anyway, so that's where we're at. What did I make a new tab for? I don't recall. Anyways, news in 15 minutes. The thing is, we came back up to this 121 area, which has kind of been the zone. And we're just sitting here, and I'm really hesitant to try and play a reversal when missiles haven't hit, because what if something happens and then they really push it even more? Seems dangerous to me. So we're just kind of gonna keep our hand off the trigger unless we see a really strong move coming off of CPI. But I think that the context says that it might not happen that way. So, and so. Oh, we also do have 9-year and 10-month auction. They are offering 21 billion. And can't forget about that one. And we'll come in here, we'll see what Reddit is saying. Is there other tweets this morning that I didn't read? Let's see. What was he saying before that? So much fake news about what is going on in the White House, very calm and calculated, with a big focus on open and fair trade with China, the coming North Korea meeting, and of course the vicious gas attack in Syria. Feels great to have Bolton, Larry K on board. We are doing things that nobody thought possible, despite the never-ending and corrupt Russia investigation, which takes tremendous time and focus. No collusion or obstruction other than I fight back. So now they do the unthinkable and raid a lawyer's office for information. Bad. He's really pissed about it, but that tweet was very different from what he was posting yesterday, isn't it? And I wonder, he was supposed to speak with Dershowitz yesterday. I wonder if Dershowitz said, hey, just chill out, because what they did was a mistake and you're going to be able to sue them back and win because of it. That maybe that's something that I could see him saying, because Dershowitz really thinks that what they did was unconstitutional. So, I don't know. Future trader CME. Okay, so they pushed through a pretty good iceberg there. We might be good for a return to the VWAP now. I'm hesitant to take it, so we're just going to watch. This is kind of a dangerous trade here, but they're really selling it. Okay, well, we were looking to catch the edge, and it never. They weren't able to hold an offer, so I think that I might give it another chance, but I think that I might need to scratch this. Yeah. While they're absorbing a lot in ZF there. The volume is still mostly down. That was a pretty significant seller, actually.
Can't see your screen. Just showing your risk statement.
Oh, thank you very much for, yeah, there we go. Durr. So I've been yapping and showing you all this stuff. And you can see any of it. Okay, yeah, so this is not... I think it might tick down again. Ah, that's not good. Okay. So that's okay, we got out fast. We think now, since that opportunity didn't go, we really have to wait until the news, so... Now I feel dumb that I just talked for a good, like, 10 minutes. Blank screen. Durr. Oh, and the people were telling me in YouTube too, and I didn't even see it. Yeah, it was just showing the disclaimer. So was there anything that I said earlier that you want me to, like, show it, chart or whatever? I'll show you the Bitcoins here. Here's the Bitcoin portfolio. So it's up about $50 this week because we were at like 270 at one point. Oh gosh, that's so awful. Go guys.
Tucker said, looking one way and one way only this AM, up.
Okay, so I see another piece of news hitting the wire here. Oh geez, this is bad. Not the news. Paul Ryan has told Confidence he will soon announce that he will not run for re-election in November, Axios reports. U.S. sanctions against Russia are a risk for practically everyone in finance. So that was definitely a stop run. But now I am seeing something else. We have news coming out in 2 minutes. We usually pull 1 minute before the news, but they were pulling 3 minutes before the news. So it is now, and the liquidity in the E-mini is gone as well. So let's not get too anxious here. Or let's not jump the gun, because we do have CPI coming out, right? And maybe they're just pulling early for the CPI. Harry S. Truman departs Norfolk and regularly scheduled deployment. By the way, what is the expectation? Is 0, right? CPI is 0 and 0.2 for core. But given yesterday's news, I should expect we should at least have 0.1 or 0.2, if not 0.3, like the PPI was. So if it comes out and it is, above expectations, I wouldn't get too excited unless it's like crazily above expectations. Okay, 2.4 versus 2.4 year over year expected. March real average weekly earnings 0.9. I'm not reading it out the same way, in the same format as what I'm expecting. I want the month over month number. Consumer price index year over year, actual 2.4, expected 2.4.
Tucker said you see that 2K offers stay at 0.20 throughout the news.
Month over
Biggest
month.
tell I've ever seen.
Month
Somebody
over month.
wanted to get filled.
Yeah, 2K offer. To sell? No, I wasn't looking. Okay, so it actually came under expectations. So I think it might be safe to buy it now. Some significant iceberging here at 121. The way that the robots or the Twitter bots are saying it is a little bit makes it seem a little bit mixed, but it was CPI was zero point 0.1, negative zero point 0.1 versus an expected 0. And remember, PPI yesterday was really good, and may lead one to believe that this number should have been better. So I think that makes this even underperform even more. That's why I'm buying. And we saw the absorption at 121. And, we're already pretty high anyways. So I think that this could go. We did see the liquidity come back, so that's good. Not in the E-mini, but in Treasuries it definitely came back. Yeah. I think we caught a good edge there at 121. Let's see if we get anything out of it. And like I said, I'm going to wait and see if they can bust through the high. But after that, I probably should be taking the first absorption, I think, because you never know what kind of headlines can be coming out. I say that, and now it's just gonna run and run and run. Watch. Okay, well, here in ZF, they're don't look quite ready to go, do they? Okay, that bid solidifying though, that's good. Oh, I see what Tucker's saying now. I did see that. 020. He's saying that everybody pulled, but these guys still held them. So they were hoping that maybe we got a big swing up and they got filled on that. They believed strongly enough that they didn't want to pull. I've seen that before too, yeah. So, I mean, it's not something that I paid attention to specifically, but my recollection is that we're highly likely to go through a target like that. And I have to say, that trade that I took earlier, that I lost on, that was a failure. That was the attempt to go back to the VWAP and failure. So you could get some trending action here. And they're probably just gonna blow right through this 020. Yeah, it's ZF. It was ticking up. Yeah. Bada boom. Okay, so 369 stops as well, which actually surprises me. There's that many people there to get stopped, but okay. We're gonna reset the DOM. The E-mini is in the spot to kind of, I don't know. I think we need to keep an eye on the E-mini here. Okay, that's it right there. No. 1718, that's almost 4K. Oh, they pulled. Balance. Dang it. Okay, well, we missed that opportunity to get out. So now let's sit here and rethink things. I think that we're kind of right where, okay, 020 was the scene of the crime. We came back really fast. There was a decent amount of volume that they plowed through. This might be like a really volatile pullback. So, and I liked that tick up. I think that we could go through. So I don't not sure if I want to move my target or not. Ooh, this is a tough call, guys. And what's the E-mini doing here? The E-mini's kind of going back and forth. That might be part of what's going on here. Oh yeah, no, we're keeping it. I like that when they put it up, they immediately put 16 there. So whoever's bidding in ZN still believes. They just need CF and ZV to come along here. Need a little bit more conviction here. Come on. It looks weak, and then they push it. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think we actually want to take a profit at 03 anymore. Not based on that. So not getting filled there, I think maybe was actually a blessing in disguise. I shouldn't say things like that. I'm just jinxing it, right? I should just keep my mouth shut. uh
Alligator said ZB at R2, ZN close, ZF a bit far. So I don't see obvious opportunity above these levels, except if ZF and ES move, CPI not a good enough reason to take long-term positions. With
okay.
ZN. Tucker said bonds went 21 bid and nobody hit 22. Still thinking absorption at highs right now.
I don't know. It's been awfully how do I put this? It looks to me like it's behaving like it's trending, but they're trying to be sneaky about it, you know? because you'll see this bid gets low, and then as soon as they get hit, it firms up, and then it moves up. So they keep putting the lure out, and they're actually having a lot of success with it. And when the level 2 solidifies, it's like really fast. It's almost like you expect it to tick up when it does that. Well, okay, so there's a 5,000.
Tucker said, hey, somebody with the ultra up, did we actually trade 1,428 at 160.08?
Oh, I closed it yesterday. I'm sorry. I don't have the ultra up. Wow, that's a lot. Was it on the bid or the offer, though? I don't know. We're sitting at a high and they're only offering 2,000. That's not top, folks. $18. Are they gonna flip? You can do it. You can do it. Yep. Now it's up to ZB here. Yeah. Ooh, and ZF really took it too. Holy shit. Okay, 500 offered at 146.25. Yeah, and they pulled at 26. They pull at 27? Nope. Okay, so that one actually ticked down and traded 500. Wow, and they're absorbing a ton at 26 now too. Whoa. Wow. Okay, so they're definitely going to try and trade the 28. Somebody had 28 as a target, right? What is 28? Let's look at our charts here. What is the significance of 28? Well, there's some pivots and stuff around here from like April 3rd. Interestingly enough, we are at the same level we were at in February when we were getting this crazy up move over interest rates. And we're coming at it with quite a bit of momentum. So you could have a breakout here, although I think we should still be cautious, no? Well, we should move our stop up at the very least, because we don't want, like, some, you know, Assad comes in and surrenders and the market instantly goes down a point or something.
Tucker said bought 0.25, offered and exited 0.35. Really don't like that refreshing offer sitting at the high.
The one at the 28? I don't know. That my thinking right now is they don't bid up 500 off the tick.
Tucker said the one at 121-035.
Right. They don't in ZB, they don't bid 500 at 27 unless they're serious, you know. And they, you know, got a little bit of profit taking there at 26 and 27. If you're a big trader and you're trying to push the market up and you see that, I think that you kind of just go, well, that's okay. Let's just give them a little bit of time to do their thing, and then we take it up when the opportunity presents itself, you know? We are following a pretty solid uptrend here off of this first standard deviation from the VWAP. And we're sitting right at it in ZF right now. I think this is the place I want to have my DOM reset. See, and it's still doing this thing where the bid gets stronger really quickly and this pulls. So I think they're still kind of luring. Although there certainly was profit taking at 035. Now in ZN, we have to say, where would our levels be in ZN? In ZN, I think you have to go to 045 at least. Do we have stuff sitting on there? I mean, we have big orders kind of around 045. Oh, it was 050. Okay. So they do have one sitting at that pivot at 050. So I kind of think that the buyers are not necessarily getting the target that they want. At least not yet. Okay, well, we did down tick there. Oh, man. Okay. Nobody's trading the 015. That's curious. Okay, one person did. I didn't want to be the first. Okay. I really wish that I had taken the opportunity to get out at 03. Even though there's still a possibility that we keep going up. I really like that target at 05 and beyond. Especially given the momentum going up into it, but you know, producers' prices going up but consumer prices not is really not good for the economy. Because that means retailers are going to get squeezed. Their prices are going up, but people aren't willing to pay more for stuff. So they just make less money. Okay, well that bid at 015 does not look super strong. Now ZB looks like it might be ready to turn around and go higher. And I didn't notice this volume in ZB was probably I was getting excited about that 500 putting on, but for them to put 500 and then not actually go, I think is definitely not good. And to see volume like that, even though we might continue. ZF though has not really done it yet, has it? Interesting. I guess that's just a function of the spread. If we're going to move up, they're going to move in with into the bond, and they're not going to do it. They're not going to be as interested in the short-term ones. So I think that I missed my exit again at 03. Remember, I did put an order in there, right? And didn't get filled, and then we came back down. I feel like if I was not in a trade right now, would I be thinking about going long again? And I think that I would probably be, you know, looking for the long, but maybe waiting. At the moment, I'm thinking, you know, I might be able to get the +4. This has cleared and held a couple of times, so I'm not quite ready to just give it up yet. Tucker wants me to get out of it. Of course. I don't think I can do it quite yet. You know, it's interesting that we're kind of getting it back the other way, right? Because when we took down at 020, they stuck a pretty big offer with it, but then it hasn't gone since. You know? Well, not this shaky behavior is going both ways, and there's a lot of volume going both ways, so there's not really any way for me to predict which way it's going to go. I think well, okay, so that's interesting.
Tucker said long end on highs, 10s and 5s mid-range. Pretty spready.
Wow, look at that. Okay, I mean, if they can hold that, I don't know if they're going to. This could depend on the E-mini. Okay, so they didn't hold it. There might be a bit more fighting here. Well, there's the E-mini taking a step down a little bit. Okay. So I got filled and they put it back on. So I think that was a good second location to get out. Smash the Bid says, stay tuned, this Seth may finally get his trend day. No, probably not. Yeah, I think there's two things we got to do here, right? And I think you guys will agree. The first is um, when the opportunity to get out presents itself, we need to be a little bit faster about it. Because I could have gotten O3, really, if I had been quick. I mean, I put an order in up there. I think it was O3 that I put the order in at. But then I think that the second thing is that when I don't get it, I don't go to plan B. I'm not very good with plan B, right? So what do you think? Should plan B be we just hit 025 when we don't think that we're going to get hit at O3? Or if it ticks down, I should just hit into O2? Or am I kind of doing it right and kind of letting it sit a little bit to see if it's gonna, go back and forth at all? Well, so I kind of see something new going on here. Okay. One is we just had another buying spike in ZB.
Tucker said my trade management is kinda twitchy, so I might not be the best example. If I can't get filled at 5s and they hit down into 4s with size, I'm hitting into 4s as fast as I can to get out.
Okay, well, I don't know. We're gonna have to do a study on it for sure, right? I'm just trying to think of how we can record, what are the parameters for us to say which way worked better. You base it based off of just that short-term action. Like in the next 5 minutes, if it keeps going down, then it was the right thing to just hit into it or something like that.
Tucker said everybody has to manage their own risk though, and that's how I like to do mine.
Yeah, I gotcha. For me, it was like I have a 4-tick winner. It went +9. I'm okay accepting a little bit of risk there on the off chance that it really turns into a trend. Now that said, the fact that we are below 020, which was where there was the big order, and it was the scene of the crime, as we say. Normally, on a trend, you want to see it push up, stop run past the top, and then a return back to the scene of the crime, balance disinterest, and therefore somebody will step in and decide to take it higher again. That tends to be what happens is you'll get like high velocity up, it'll come back, you'll get no velocity, and so then it'll go up again. But that's not what happened, right? We got high velocity up, and then we actually got some high velocity down, and then we came back up here. That's where I got out, and now we are once again down 2 ticks. And we're actually a tick lower than the last push down. And we're getting close to that 121, right? So now let's go back here a little bit. I was saying I see a couple of things going on here. One is that there are some buying spikes here in ZB for sure. Okay. And ZB has been the one leading us up. But ZN has not followed suit. Number 2 is ZF sold into some pretty heavy supply here. Yeah, Ryan says it all varies on trade length. Yeah. And on trade day. But I think in this case, they're right, because I said, hey, this could do anything and we need to take the short profits, right? So I think that based on the fact that we're now 2 ticks lower, that still remains the right strategy in this market. I think what we're stressing over is how could we have convinced ourselves to sell it at 03 or 025, you know? And it's so hard because, we did see some 3 to 4,000 absorb at 035, and that of course was a signal that it was over, but I mean, we saw a lot absorb up in here at 02 at 1.2. So how are you going to know that it's actually going to matter? It's kind of hard. But it's okay. I mean, look, +2. That's cool. That's good. We can work with this. Who knows? We might get another, well, I don't know. Let me look at this for a second. I think I'm gonna have to agree with Alligator here, where he was saying there doesn't appear to be much to justify moving us up if the E-mini doesn't fall. Do you know what the average swing length is in Z? And that might help to know when to expect a pullback / reversal. Well, we got this. How should I do this? Let's look at it. I think it's 4 though. Obviously it depends on what your time frame is. Okay. So we're just going to pull this up. We're going to say ZN.
Tucker said smash the bid. I ran a study a while ago and it was like 2.25.
180. So my average.
Tucker said on a 1-minute time frame, I believe. Basically scalping time frame.
Oh yeah, okay. That's a different thing. So let me say, because you were saying, oh, you swing trader. I don't want to take swings, but I do take pivots, right? Like I would prefer to catch like the whole pivot. Okay, so we get 30-minute bars, regular session. Yeah, that's right. And then I have my indicator, which, by the way, if you're a Patreon subscriber, even if you just do the $1 one, the link is on there somewhere. It was quite several days back though, so I don't maybe there's a way to like highlight that or make it so that if you didn't see that you can get to it. But here's this range indicator that we're gonna add. Okay, and then we're gonna add this where is it? Range histogram. Okay, and what we want to do is make this really tall. Okay, so it looks to me like in 30 minutes you tend to get 5 ticks. And there is, of course, a significant drop off at 15 and a significant drop off at 11. But it really drops off. It's actually in ZB, it's actually doesn't drop off quite as quickly. And by the way, this is exponential scale, so you're really 3 to 5 ticks is best, and that actually tends to be my average win and loss. So yes, so I have noticed that we tend to go 4 ticks and stop. And what do you know? 4 ticks, almost another 4 ticks.
Tucker said pretty much exactly what I remember seeing as well. I remember thinking, I have to make money within a 5-tick range in the morning. How on earth is that going to be possible?
Right. But you can definitely get more than that because we trade, you know, what, 2 hours? So that really gives you an opportunity to get like 24 ticks if in the best case scenario if you got 5 every 30 minutes. You know what I mean? I think it is a good thing to say, and that's where I was saying like maybe what I need to do is I really just need to say for a little while until I feel like I am better adjusted. Hey, just always take +4. Simple. And rely on probability to win us out. And hopefully we're taking our stops before they go to full stops, right? And when it only goes like 1 or 2 ticks against us. I think that when you're having a hard time, that reducing your risk by taking smaller targets is a good way to build up your confidence and kind of readjust yourself.
You could shoot for the moon, but be willing to hit out whenever you see absorption pop up and push against your position.
Yep. Now this one was interesting because it wasn't straight absorption, was it? Actually the cumulative delta is positive. So what is happening right now, and I think that this was part of what made it hard for me. I feel really good about it because that was a tough trade and we still made it out with a good +4. But look at the cumulative delta in ZN there. Like we're down a good 6 ticks, and it's actually sitting at the high of the day in cumulative delta. So there is actually I can't say that it's over because of that alone. Because if we
Tucker
push,
said, well, that's what absorption is, though. If sellers absorb 10K and sell 1K, cumulative delta is going to show +9K.
What I meant was that I didn't see like a 10K order hit at 035. You know what I mean? I saw like 3 or 4, and it wasn't a big deal because we were trading 3 and 4 like every step. And so in that situation, you could totally have.
Tucker said, true.
Yeah, you could totally have more volume come in and just blow us right through there, right up to that 050. And I think that it went down just because they decided not to do it, and not because there was somebody sitting there at the top stopping it from happening. And the other thing is we keep getting this. Look, 5K have traded both ways. Although I think I have to favor the seller. But you're right. I mean, this delta that we're seeing here is pretty important. It just, I mean, it says to me that there's another really good trade in here. We just don't know which direction it's going to go yet. So the 5 was at 120, 121 even, right? And we ticked up. Anyway, it erased now, and I should have reset it when I saw that. See, that's the way a lot of people think big moves equal big movie. Not true. A consistent 2 to 4 ticks a day in treasuries with size is more than enough. Well, I mean, even with 5 contracts, 4 ticks equals $300. Yeah. Well, I think what you're trying to say, smash the bid, is if you are a retail trader and you're trading treasuries, you don't have to go for the 16 ticks. If you get 2 to 4 ticks a day, that's good. But the thing is, what I
Tucker
have
said
found.
comment on the erasing. One thing Grady does with his setup is push the refresh time frame way out. In the settings I think it's set at like 2000 milliseconds.
Oh,
He
does he
pushes it
really?
up to 10 full.
10 full seconds. That's I didn't know that. That's interesting because I really like to see how much it took. Like right there. Okay, 1,000 to tick up. Okay, like I really like to know what that number is, and if I increase it, I don't necessarily get to see that. But what I do get to see is when it's traded back and forth through here 3 times, those don't reset. And so I get a better idea of what that particular imbalance is. I'm not sure if one is more important or the other. I think that for me, the way that I get by without that is my cumulative delta up there, right? I can see, even though there was definitely a
Tucker
fight
said it
there.
just really helps if somebody is working size over a few minutes so you can get a better feeling for what's happening. Conversely, when it's slow, you see exactly how dead the
Transactions are, yeah. But I mean, cumulative delta still does a good job because we can see, even though there was like, a lot of volume through there, there's a little bit of buying and then it came back down. And meanwhile, in ZB and ZF, they are pushing down. So what I am looking for, what I think is going to happen, because we have this imbalance, we're going to trade around this range. So between 020 and maybe even as low as 31.5. But this kind of 6-tick range here, you see it in the profile. We're going to get to one side of that, and all of a sudden you're going to see the level 2 is going to change the pattern, the flickering pattern. And it's probably going to, like the number of level 2 changes is probably going to change. And then you will see somebody execute a big take, where they take, maybe they buy 2,000 and then they bid 2,000, sort of a thing. If that happens, then we could move up and we could make new highs, because what happened there was a lot of selling. But on the other hand, I think there's a really good chance, probably more likely, that we get down to 121 and somebody steps on the gas pedal, and you see that, but it goes the opposite way, because here we have a lot of people both long and short, but right now the longs lost, and if they push it down much further, they're going to start puking. So we have a setup, and we have some good context here to trade off of, but we do not yet have a probabilistic edge. Yeah. So we're waiting for the probability to swing one way or the other. You have 10,000 in Forex with a 50-to-1 ratio. It's $40 a pip with much more volatility. Enjoy footprint charts and read them well. I just need to make the only good one I know is $100 a month. Yeah, well, Ryan, I've been messing with footprint chart and NinjaTrader. And there's you can do a lot with just straight NinjaTrader. So kind of depends on what features you want. Volatility isn't always a good thing, so you can't really pinpoint things in ZN. You may have trouble doing that in volatile markets. Yeah, I need a Kickstarter for 10K. Yeah, well, you can do. I mean, I did the Patreon thing, and I don't know. I like the Patreon thing because I don't feel like I'm begging for money, you know. The people that subscribe to that get a service in return. They get that indicator, and the commentary that comes with it. And I think that it's been really valuable. And obviously they do too, because the majority of the people that are on it signed up back in December, and they've been subscribers now for 5 months. And I think that's a good way to do things. Now, of course, you're going to raise 10K. You're going to need a lot more subscribers than I have. So, well. The thing is that if we start failing here, I just end up posting my reads for free. Yeah, another thing you can do that I would suggest, and I don't know if there's a referral link anymore, is there? But sorry, Steam it. Yeah, if you go and post your analysis on Steam it, and people upvote it, and you can actually make a good amount of that cryptocurrency doing that. And you go and post your profile in our cryptocurrency channel, and there's a couple of people there with it, and they use it. Yeah, I've used TradeView. I subscribed to it for a while because TradingView was like literally the only way I could get data at work. Yeah. But I stopped doing it when I got, level 2 data. The nice thing about TradingView, though, he was doing a project on there. Oh, okay. The nice thing about TradingView is that they have like everything in it's all connected. So if I want to see cryptocurrency next to the E-mini, I can do that. And I can't think of another platform that I can do that on. Okay, that was it right there. I'm not seeing the increase in level 2. And there's still a pretty strong one. It's hitting there at 31.5. If why does it say it's offline all of a sudden? That's weird. Oh, okay, we're still live. So I guess that wasn't it. That was them stepping up to see if they want to take it. But I think that there's some people leaning here on 31.5. If they go below, though, there's a really good chance we're going to test 0305 because it's a single print. It would show up in the same spot in ZB. No, it doesn't, because ZB went a lot further. So in ZB, it's 146.20. So we're going to put S here. And we're going to put S here. Okay, there was another good take. Yeah, let me see here. I think we can safely. So I don't want to take the short here yet because the single print is at 30.5, and that's where they're going to defend. Ooh, we got a little smiley face there. I don't necessarily understand your chart though. that pattern right there. It's almost like in the lips. I've never seen that before. Okay, so this news about Speaker Ryan not running for re-election is definitely all over the place now.
Tucker said liking the look of the short too. Imo shorts peppering 300 and 295 to exit their position.
Yeah. It's hard to say because I'm not necessarily seeing super strong targets below us yet. And really in any three of these. But the E-mini has recovered significantly. I think that's what's pushing us down for sure. Okay. I mean, the E-mini is recovering, but it's still in like it's like at a, just at a balance point after the sell-off, and not necessarily it's over kind of a thing. You can even see they're starting to run into supply here. Okay, so there it is. There's the 305. They hit it with 18 orders. I didn't see like clear rejection like I would expect to see at a single print. But ZB is in the same spot. Okay, ZB is showing maybe some signs of defense. If it gets below the view up, I could take a short. And then you might see 29. Ugh, that's not a really good trade, is it? Well, you could see 29, that's a single print. And then you could see the overnight point of control at 25 half. Actually, still the session point of control, so this big old sucker down here. And the fact that we're so far away from the 010 now, I think that actually there is a really good chance that this completely unwinds now. What do you think?
Tucker said agreed. Seems like just the type of thing to happen on a news day.
Schumer Ryan is a good man who is always true to his word. Okay. Wait to let everybody know that they really shouldn't have trusted Paul Ryan if the Democrats like him. If Schumer likes him, of course the Republicans are going to be like, see? You see? Now that ZF came down fast on not that much delta either. Maybe our perspective is getting messed up here, but it seems like that's not that much selling for it to go down like that. Let's see here. Oh, that was a Head and Shoulders forecast. Okay. Well. Not, we've had this discussion many times before. I'm not opposed to technical analysis. I think it's a really good skill to have, and it can really improve your trading, but on its own, it does not necessarily have a reliable edge.
Though we have the traders said ZN at the moment double distribution day. Double distribution is an imbalance profile where initial balance is small and the first price rotation, first balance region, happens at
initial balance, then the larger time frame traders take control and drive the price in one direction. In the later session, another price rotation happens at the other side of the edge. Both price rotation regions should be separated by single prints. Yeah, you're right. At the moment, it's a double distribution day. I'm wondering though. Did we see? Is it actually a reversal day? Right? I don't know. It could ZN could totally bounce off the VWAP here, but the one that's getting to me is ZF. Look at ZF, double top, accelerating sell volume, buying, attempt to move back up, and complete and utter failure. So now you have to sit and ask, okay, well, so was that too much? I mean, in delta wise, they're not quite done. Where do they get to here? Okay, so delta wise, we have actually balanced out. They've washed out everybody that was long. And so now you kind of run into this situation where they could possibly go back for the session point of control that's back over here, and then if they get that, there's going to be enough negative delta that it could go even further. So I'm not, what, for me, when it's a double distribution, I would want to see real signs of balance, and that, after about this right here, I kind of feel like that scenario became less likely. Now that said, if you think that it's going to stay at double distribution day, you would want to buy it at 30, right? I think that's what Trade the Traders is trying to say. Okay, well, they had a pretty strong buy on open that is coming back to balance overnight balance area. If they get above 2650, then I think that my scenario in Treasuries could start playing out.
Trade the traders said at 295.
Okay, he's saying you'd buy it at 295. Oh, right, because 295 is where the single prints end. So they're going to fill in all of the single prints and then maybe turn around. I think you might be right. I think that this E-mini is in control, though.
Trade the traders said LVN.
Yeah, the low volume node. Okay, well, we did see some signs of buying in CF. Paul Krugman is really happy that Paul Ryan is going to be going out. Wow. The E-mini is starting to... this is interesting. How big was that one? Just 1600. $30-year bond future nearing pivotal resistance again. Yes. This is actually a really good chart to show you guys. 200-week moving average. And we're right at it. I mean, we're really like at the spot where it's like, for us to go higher, you have to rethink the whole year. Remember, where was my initial trade at? My initial trade was at 30 half. So it was right here.
Tucker said, boy, seems like the longs have it down here. Wish I'd been bid 200s a few minutes ago.
$200s? You mean 300s? Okay, you would have gotten fill at, you'd be getting fills at 300.
Tucker said sorry, 300s.
Right, okay. Well, that was a pretty good. The E-mini absorbed a pretty good hit there, didn't it? To be pushing the highs at the moment.
Tucker said kinda thing where you buy the edge and then if it trades size down into 295, you bail. Risk 1 or 2 to see back into 310 to 315.
That's I think our big risk here. 'Cause I think you're right. Well, let me say this. Let me back up. Trade the Traders has a really good market profile based trade, and so I think it makes sense that you can see people here around 29.5 trying to take that trade. But if the E-mini continues this run and gets above the previous day's close, I don't think it's gonna matter. Right? So I think that we're still kind of in a no man's land where our probability isn't high enough to click. I think that the scenario one is buyers hold it here at the single print. Okay, so that was pretty good that we saw that. Buyers hold it here at the single print. You basically get a VWAP bounce, and we move back up into this 020. Probably is where it finds balance. Scenario two is the E-mini just keeps going, and we come back to 25.5. Your reward is a little bit better to the downside, but it's fairly equal, and those are both pretty big moves. So I think there's a lot of risk there right now, and if we're going to take that much risk, I think that we really need to be, we really want to be sure. Smash the bid thinks 28.5. Why do you think 28.5? I think that you should see, if we're able to trade 29, I think you're gonna see people trying to reject it. Some of this delta did come off. Half of the stories on Reddit top past hour are about Paul Ryan. Donald Trump attacking the Russia investigation again. Much of the bad blood with Russia is caused by the fake and corrupt Russia investigation headed up by all the Democrat loyalists or people that worked for Obama. Mueller is the most conflicted of all, except Rosenstein, who signed FISA and Comey letter. No collusion, so they go crazy. So I think he's frustrated because he feels that he is not able to do what he would like to do with Russia and Syria because of the Russia investigation. Well, you're starting to see big prints here now. So people are trying to hold it. 8. The E-min is still going.
Tucker said so, if it downticks into 290, my idea is bunk. But I'd like to see ZN go bid into 300 and hold strong. I'd consider a long at that point, with a similar idea to bail if it trades size.
Right. Well, I think that that what you're going to see is as soon as it starts trading 29, if it does, they're going to do that thing where they immediately buy whatever they offer up to just to try and prevent them from being able to tick through it, if that makes sense. You know, like there's absorption. It's hard to describe, but like there's absorption and then there's rejection, and rejection is like they are just adamantly trying to prevent it from trading a particular price. Well, the E-mini just keeps taking legs. They're gonna go again. Slightly higher high. Look at that. People are taking a level break trade there at 26.47. It didn't go that time. Okay, so there's your nice uptick. I'm going to give it a little bit more room just because where the E-mini is at, this could go back and forth a couple of times. Okay. And another one of those
Tucker
impulse
said,
moves.
Boy, there she goes.
Impulse
Had a
moves
bit in
and
but
it
with
doesn't.
872 trading there, no chance for a fill. Jack said defending 295, yesterday's RTH high.
Was that the RTH high? I didn't even realize. I was just seeing the single print at 290. Well, here I'm watching just this thing here in the E-mini, and they've had impulsive pushes up twice now that didn't go. I think that the E-mini is going to start dropping here. Okay, so I put my target was 020, by the way. I don't know if it will get there before I have to go, but that's where I think that we should trade back to. And if you traded every pivot, you could have made a ton of money today. Nope, they're still holding it. It hasn't gone yet. The volume is...
Tucker said, Seth, are you long looking for 0.20?
Yeah, I'm long at 30.5. So when it ticked up, I took it there and they hit it, and it like immediately firmed up afterwards. So I'd have to say for a limit order, that was probably the best you could get. Okay, so they're
Tucker said, nice,
pushing
nice.
the high. Now they're pushing the high, so it's not over yet. I don't know, guys. I don't like pushes like that if they don't make progress. Okay. 2 or 3 of those now. I don't know if that's gonna hold or what. Ugh. The E-mini is just so hard to predict sometimes. Okay. Okay, there now you're just starting to get some more decent selling. Are they gonna tick back up in ZN? Come on. Well, it's pulling. There they took it. I have to say this trade makes me a little bit more nervous than usual, because what I'm seeing does not say to me that I have like some large other time frame player coming in making a move based off of something that they see in the news or that they know is going to happen. I see the market trading off of a technical level, and I think that you know, when you're trading off of a technical level, your probability just isn't as good. You know, somebody could come in, and somebody in Treasuries or in the E-mini could come in and mess this up at any time. So I would really like to see another strong uptick before I start feeling like, you know, confident about this. Another thing I noticed earlier, and I was going to say, but I kind of had lost my train of thought. But this O2O, I think it's a good target. But remember that here's the dome. The O2O is at the top, and there's a lot of orders there. So in this instance, I might take the O15
said,
instead.
Okay, but psych trade again. Sellers dumped from 0.10 down to that huge profile step. The profile step was defended hard, and it ticked up above that. Sellers are going to get very nervous.
I mean, I feel nervous here buying the treasuries. Anyways, if we do get one, I think I'm going to take it off at 0.15 though, because I'm not sure if I would get filled at 0.2 just because of all the size there and the fact that it's on the edge. Okay, well that's good that they hit it with 3,000 and they held it. Somebody still believes. And we also got this thing going on here in ZF. Keep an eye on that. They're not ready to tick up. They got this VWAP to contend with. Okay, well, E-mini has done a lot of business in this spot, hasn't it? Is that are we going to say that's a buying tail? Excess buying tail? Push lower? The sellers definitely are getting bigger candles. On the tick chart, at least. You see that? So 1,000 ticks, they went down a lot more than any of these moves up. So you can't even tell because we've absorbed 3,000 contracts here, but then this bid looks like super weak. And so I don't know if there's even anybody like still holding it there. And like if it ticks down, is it gonna like start doing crazy stuff? Okay, there was a machine gun there. Okay. It's getting more confident here. And I do have to say, in this
Tucker
situation,
said reminds me of yesterday a bit.
Yeah.
Took ages to go, but then it ran really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. We kind of had a similar sort of a thing. And not only that, but yesterday you had some pretty good upswings and downswings that you could have made money on. I know. I think in this situation, I would trust the Treasuries more than the E-mini.
Trade the Traders said WTF. Twitter.com.
Airborne from Wright Patterson? I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. You have to explain it. Okay, well, they ticked down and they put pretty good offer on it, and the bid looks weak. Really? Paul Ryan's opposition has already raised more than $4.5 million to try and defeat him. Okay. Well, I don't like that. Those two down ticks. I'm not too concerned seeing two against me, though, because there's the whole 290. Promising war by tweet insults not only the Constitution, but every
Trade the
soldier who
Traders
puts their
said
life on the
shortly
line.
after the threat of a military attack on Syria in the U.S., the E-4B Boeing 747 Night Watch has apparently gone up in the air. The machine, also known as the Doomsday.
Okay, never heard of that before. I think we have to cut this one off, guys. So
Tucker said, well, when the nukes fall, fingers crossed it isn't Colorado, smiley face.
so they did not defend 29. And the E-mini is still buying. I think I can take a short. Let's go. Come on. Good. Yes. And we would be taking maybe 224.5. Oh, now you do it at 280, huh? Maybe they're just messing with us. Oh, it's pulling. ZB ticked up there. There's the E-mini taking another high. 250. So now when you look at the chart, see what I mean? I mean, there's
Trade the
probably
traders said that's not fun. It scares me.
probably go all the way back through all of this. This is what I'm betting now. And they're starting to hit it. Some profit takers at 28. Maybe still some longs. Now it's 6. They're getting more confident. If ZF goes, it's gonna go. Wow. Notice the delta here. E-mini is hitting up into some supply. Wow. How many big orders were there in that? It was a couple of big guys that decided to take it. Jeez. I think at some point one of these big icebergs is gonna have to fail, but I feel stuck now. Because they hit that pretty hard. Let's see here and see if it held. Here the E-mini is going to go again. Or at least they think it's going to go again because they're changing their orders. They came off a little bit. That was pulling when the E-mini was moving up. The bid in the Treasury was pulling. Are we going to get a 10K? Nope. So that was a pretty bad tick against us there.
Jack said 290/295 was an S/R pivot going back a couple weeks. I've seen that often where there's an initial defense of the level, like it's a bull/bear line in the sand which then fails. I wouldn't
be surprised to see 29.5 retest. In essence, people are getting worked. Yeah, I feel worked.
Jack said we tick back up to 295 as I was writing that.
Okay, well, let's look. No, I think I should quit. So we just had two go directly against us. So our edge is a negative edge right now. The market maker's seeing what's going on and is messing with us. Or some trader I feel taken advantage of. think my first loss was a. So it's good that it was only two tick losers, but overall we end up with a 4 tick loss. It's not good. Maybe I should have stopped when I was just +2. Just kind of watching carefully here. I mean, now that that fell to 28, I really feel like I want to go long again. But then, probably gonna see absorption again at like 30, Or it turns around. I mean, we aren't quite over the VWAP yet either, are we? I thought, well, Jay says this is very entertaining. I thought it was a lot more entertaining when we were up at the highs. I'd say though, even though I think I've improved a little bit in trading this particular type of action, this is still not my market. You have, targets and things that based off of the probabilities and things that we know it would normally go and do, and every single one of them is failing. Right? Ryan thinks it's going to 121.20. Again, yeah, this is a good 8
Trade
ticks.
The trader said spread, let's see 4.
These swings in the 5-year are getting awfully violent as well. I'm kind of quiet because I don't really want to touch this anymore. It's absorbing good at 300. It could be good for move back up to where we were, but like really, it did that before and it didn't go. There's 5. They absorbed a lot of selling there at 09.5. At the moment, I'd have to say that the order flow looks good long. You do get a little bit of a run up in ZBZN. ZF is seeing some selling, but they're holding it. And it wouldn't be unusual for you to have your trade eventually does go through, but it's just they have to go and stop everybody out first. Although there is a point of control now at 30.5 as well, so maybe we have found some balance here in this area and it's just gonna stay here at 30. E-mini hasn't really moved yet. Smash the bid filling in the profile, yeah. But don't you think that they would want to touch that 27 then if I guess not. And they tick down. Hmm. Notice how there's no market orders coming in Treasuries. I don't think I'm the only person out there that has gotten frustrated with this action. It looks weak. Oh, I'm not going to get filled. It is going to go down. Well, this failure is a little bit more interesting because there wasn't the same massive absorption up at 30 that there was the other way it was there. They're afraid of it. They're not taking it. It's balanced at 28.5. Yeah, it could form into one big bell torn, but we have big chunks of ranges. But we were looking at a double distribution day, and what we've gotten is just a complete mess, right? So we've got a spike here, we've got a spike here, we've got a spike here, and we're starting to develop one right here as well. So this kind of gets back into what I was saying earlier. Remember when I was like, the thing that concerns me about this trade is that when I was going long is that it seems based off of a technical, you know, a market profile analysis. And so there may not actually be any big player looking to actually move the markets. It's just traders trading. Because the bigger players just aren't sure what's happening, or you know, they don't want to move. So I think that's kind of why you get this mess, because then the traders, they all want to take these same trades, like the one based on market profile, or you know, we want it to go back to one of these volume nodes. And you can see how hard it has been to actually get it to do it, because with only traders here, that's not enough to make it do it. We're even seeing this where the E-mini is looking pretty strong right now, to be honest. Yeah. And we're not really ticking down, are we? I only look at the regular session profile on the DOMs, though. I'm not really worried about what people do overnight, different players, in my opinion. I found that the overnight action is actually can be a pretty good predictor, actually, of what happens. The 280 is like the bottom of this, and it's not. It doesn't look super strong. They could definitely tick lower. If they do that, do we have delta? We do. In ZN, we have delta at least. In ZB, we have delta. In ZF, they are just flooding in short. You notice in that the cumulative delta here in the E-mini has been flat. We came down, it was flat, and now we're going. So there could be another buying spike that in the making here. Okay, that was a solid downtick. That was the rejection, and it got sucked up. That's what I was waiting to see at 29. Somebody aggressively trying to push it away from 27.5, but they got completely absorbed. And that was off of the first uptick. Yeah, so now he's doing it again. We sold 23, and then as soon as it pushed down, they were willing to put another 700 into it. I think, though, that we're still here, and we haven't seen the volume spike come into the E-mini. I think this guy is going to lose. Be careful, though, especially here in ZF is, I think, the one that we got to watch. If it's going to start pivoting or ticking up, then we got to bail. There's the E-mini still going. I think that this spot in the E-mini, because the previous close is somewhere around 26.55. So, like, even though I think you got some people losing here, they're not getting their stops yet. So they just have to push through this volume. Now, the good news is that cumulative delta is not really pushing here yet, which means they're saving their ammo for when it gets to like 26.55. when they need it to stop people out. Okay. They ticked up through that iceberg. They do have a bid. It's not a super strong bid. The E-mini is still threatening. Slowly but surely. They've now tried to clear 28.5 3 times. While the E-mini is moving up, by the way. 4 times. Now E-mini's starting to snowball a little bit. I feel like the volume spike is maybe coming early, but we might see it right here. ZB's been moving up. We got to keep an eye on that too. How many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-tick pullback. Well, this is mixed because the action certainly says down, but they're buying it in ZB. Overall downtrend. Overall trend is down still, though, I think. I mean, they haven't made a higher pivot in ZB, so I'm not quite sure I understand why they're buying it through here. At least it doesn't look like they're making progress from it. It's about 6,000 contracts. Well,
Jack
4,000.
said tough location in the middle of the overnight range.
Yeah. Oh, but I understand. I read that comment earlier, and I didn't read anything to it, and then I just read it again where Smash had said, yeah, I only look at the RTH profile on my dump cell. So, like, the overnight action can be important, but the volume nodes and stuff aren't necessarily a huge deal. And I think he's a good point that, like, if we get back to where we spent all this time at 120 to 25 half, um, there's a pretty strong possibility there that the people that are trading it just don't care about whatever it was that caused that volume there overnight. Either because it's no longer relevant or because it's just a different group of traders that care about different stuff.
Alligator said, I guess today lots of people expect a range before FUMC, so absorption both ways.
Oh, we have a good point. We don't have. It's Wednesday. We get the meeting minutes. Well, that was a key part of the context that I forgot, isn't it? Well, that 28 has gotten too thick. Okay, well, we got a flip. While this is going, I should probably post my Patreon, of course. Oh, we have to actually run it. Ooh, finally got a good downtick. And they pick up in the pace of the tape. In velocity. And it is still holding. I think they can attack that 27.5 much more confidently this time. maybe we get a little bit more out of it. I don't know if it's going to go super far though. Classic is in an odd spot.
Alligator set geopolitical fears priced in overnight and now waiting, but if ES is strong enough it could break down, ZN a bit high vs others ATM IMO.
Got weak there, but they weren't able to break through. Of course, there's this ginormous bid offer sitting on there, so they're not done yet. Gosh. Well, there was that absorption at 27.5 that, I would have liked to take, but, by the time you see it, it's already happened, and then you're not sure if you're going to get filled. So... Okay, so that was a pretty climactic drop there. I think I have to get out of break even though, don't I? Okay. So let's review, shall we? We initially took a, where was it? We 630. Okay, so here we took a short, possibly ill-advised. It only went 2 against us where we got out. That's okay. I don't think that this long was necessarily one that we really wanted anyways. But then at 121, oh, it was actually further over here. At 121, we caught this. So like I said, seemed like a really good move, but then it didn't go through. So in the end, it wasn't that great of a trade. And then we had these losers where it came back down to here. We tried the long, it didn't go. We tried the short, it didn't go. If we had just traded the opposite ends of those range, obviously we could have made some good money. But how do you know that it's going to do that? And here, we actually did get a tick lower, but it just didn't, it just didn't go. And now we were short at, what, 2.8 and it's sitting there with a pretty strong bid on it. And the book is starting to get thick. So, I think on this one, maybe I should have stopped trading earlier. Yeah, after this one failed. And then we could have walked away with -2. And what is that going to put us at? Probably going to put us at like 690. Not good, guys. I might have to stop. I might have to stop and put some more in and wait for a more favorable market. Because this has just been going on for such a long time, and I'm now, I think I've been down, well, let's look. This is that disaster when you start going live that everybody warns you about. is what you're watching right now, folks. So I started mid-March. So we'll just start it from the 15th. Can only do that one. Yeah. So you can see I had this day that should not have happened. And then it was flat, and now we've just had small losses. So we are 1, 2, wait, is that today? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trading days in a row with a loss. Most of them small, but one of them actually quite big. And probably my percentage is really ugly right now. Yeah, I'm only hitting 40%. But what's really killing me is that my losing trade is my largest overall loss. So, not quite sure what to do. It's now beyond a normal drawdown, for sure. The edge that you think you have doesn't exist. It's an illusion. You take positions on FOMO and setups that the market shows as obvious, but opportunity is really obvious. No, you're wrong. So we have quite a bit of data here to show that some of the trades that we take are good, but we're in an unusual market. Okay. So let's come back over here and I will show you. Okay. Like, how long have we been here? Oh, that's not the one that we want. We're here in ZN. Okay, let's make this a little bit bigger. How long have we been around this?
Came into today looking only for longs, bought the market all morning with a death by 1,000 paper cuts before I cut myself off. Touche, Mr. Market.
How long have we been around this 121 area? Look, we have touched it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one day it wasn't in there. Then 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've touched it 10 out of the past 11 days. And you'll notice I said I'm about 13. So, going back to about here. So we are in a different market regime where I have not adjusted very well. And what we really needed to do is trade counter trend, probably. Holy crap, really? Probably what we needed to do to really make money was trade counter trend or just take small scalps. And so that's what happens. I mean, drawdowns happen. The problem here is that I am also making mistakes along the way, aren't I? And those mistakes add up over time. Oh, smash this bid. This bid says ignore the haters. Everybody has an opinion. Well, I'll bring it up because I think I don't want people to be going off of something that's not true. And I think the point here is that you are going to have periods where your market strategy doesn't work. And how you're able to weather that time period is really critical. And it just happened to come in at a bad time. And if you look back at this up here, I can grab it here. It was this day right here where I had a little bit of a tilt. If I had not had that day, if I had not made those mistakes, then we would only be down about 1 or 200, and we would be okay. I would still be saying, hey, this is just a drawdown and it's perfectly fine. But now you do have a point that we're taking like some obvious trades. I was gonna say opportunity is really obvious. I don't necessarily agree with that. Because the moves that are really big are just so big. The reason they happen is because they have to. Because the imbalance and what is happening outside in the world are as such that it just has to go there. And you'll see it in the order flow, and it's often extremely obvious and very easy to take them. And then when you get into this more range-bound market where the trades are not as obvious, the opportunity is actually much less. Unless of course you're just really always going counter trend, which I just can't. I cannot recommend because if the thing is the strategy that makes you the money in this past 2 or 3 weeks that we've been going on here is gonna screw you over so bad the rest of the year, If you had been trading that in February when I was doing well, you would have gotten killed. Yeah. Ill-advised risk with tightening range and shrinking reward. And what's the mistake we're having is we're getting tricked. One, couple, and we're being slow. We're not taking profits. We're letting some come back on us. We're not cutting our losers off fast enough. It just goes on and on. Yeah. Yeah, I think after all of this, we do have to sit down and say that, hey, going over to live is a different thing and messes you up a bit. And it's going to take a while, I think. I mean, it took me a long time to get to where I was confident going live. I think that it's going to take a while yet to feel confident trading live and be really successful at it. Maybe a whole another year. I could see us going. I may have to put more money in the account, but if I can do that, I'm willing to do that. But I could see something where we kind of struggle and go up and down a lot for a good, maybe even until the summer, and then have a really long period of just breaking even before we really start doing well. Well, Ryan, no offense, dude, but if you're just trading micro forex, I don't think you really know enough about what we're looking at to be saying what you're saying, because you cannot see order flow in forex. I feel like forex is almost like trading blind. People do well in it, so I can't say it's completely bullcrap, but I'm just saying, like, I don't see how you can say the edge that you think doesn't exist when you're not an order flow trader. Oh, okay, you've used CQ. I think you meant CQG, yeah. Oh, CGX. Maybe that's not. What is that? I'm not seeing anything coming up. Maybe that is some sort of volume indicator, or maybe he's just misspelling it. CQG. Yeah, okay. Well, there. I mean, it's just, the thing is, edges come and go. So then in this market, I think smash the bid has a really good point. I've actually had a lot of really good trades that I had favorable ticks on, and then I just let them come back on me. And if I had taken the short profits, I probably would have gotten more to like a 50% win rate, and we might not be in this. If I had taken the short profits and this day didn't happen, because honestly, this day, we have to be like totally blunt. That day was me tilting 100%. So let's just erase that day, because that's a different issue. That's not the strategy. That was me. These other days, it's not the strategy. It's me not trading the strategy very effectively. If we could fix some of those problems, then yeah, we could do well. We could have been making money through some of this. Yeah. Well, so Jay, understand that the reason I trade what I trade and the things that the edges that I look for and stuff is because I used to work for Goldman Sachs, and I know how their trading systems worked. And I spoke to traders. I didn't have a lot of access to traders, but I did speak to some traders a few times, and I'm doing what they told me to do if I ever had the opportunity to trade. They said, get a good DOM and trade treasuries. So that's what I'm doing. But you might be saying that the knowledge you've gained is not is affected by emotion. I don't know if I mean, I will FOMO from time to time, but going back into this thing, I need to move this out of the way. That's cool. This right here. Okay. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking with this one. I mean, there was some strong downticks and stuff, but it was a reversal trade, and it's unusual for me to take those. So that one, you could maybe say that maybe it was affected by emotion. This one I thought was a great trade. Could have gotten more out of it, but I thought that this was a great trade. This one, I'm going to say it was a little bit of an unusual trade for me, just because I was relying on a market profile setup, but we also saw all of the order flow signals, and we were trading off of a bounce off of the VWAP, which is a trade that I take a lot. So I think that this one right here was really the one that was like, you know, that usually works for me, and it didn't. At that point, though, I think that I should have sat back and said, okay, setups that should work aren't. Maybe I should stop. And then we took another setup that was just as good the other way that also failed. So, yep. I certainly don't think that we have enough going on here to start thinking that we need to go back and rethink our edge or anything. You know, I mean, we had a really good 4 months profitable trading there before we went and did this. So I don't think that it's the edge. I think it's me. So, I posted everything. Oh, where's this other? I'm missing oh, there she is. Well, while we've been talking about this, we've had a pretty good move up. Were we long on that last trade? No, we weren't. So, it was actually quite strong. I'm not quite sure if what it's going to do. They may yet get to the 010 and find balance. So maybe we actually did get the trade we were eventually looking for. All right. Well, tomorrow's another day. No, it did work. I did work for Goldman. So, well, they don't use Jigsaw. So we had our own DOM that's called Ready, and they actually split it off into a separate entity at one point. And it kind of actually has a couple of features that Jigsaw doesn't have, like being able to like shift click and stuff. But they didn't tell me their strategies, and the thing is their strategies wouldn't necessarily matter because they're trading off of institutional order flow, which is like a completely different thing, right? Yeah, I wish I could go more into this, but because it is an interesting subject, but I do have to go. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. We can talk about it some more, right? Later.